start. Oh wait, who's gonna be like the leader? 'Cause Emma, you should start it off this time.
Okay.
I'll let you
To
know when it's
introduce her?
started.
No, I can't. I can't do that.
The intro, because usually it's me, but we'll have. All right, it's live. Yeah.
What's up, guys? And welcome back to another video, another banger.
No. This is the podcast No Weebs No Life, where we just talk about anime and random. Today's episode will be our thought about this A Silent Voice. Yeah.
It changed our lives forever.
It kind of did. I mean, I kind of regretted like watching it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should watch that. Like,
Oh no, I don't regret.
I don't
watching
care.
it.
I don't care
just-
how depressing it was. I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm happy
but,
I
like,
watched it. That's
I couldn't
important.
sleep.
Yeah, but that.
So
that's
I
not
can't.
a
I can't
bad
sleep
thing.
at all anyway. So I don't know. I can't tell the difference.
All right. Anyway, let's just jump right into it. Okay.
Just jump
Jump
right
right
into it,
Yeah.
guys.
Okay, guys. So we all watched.
We
A
gotta say.
Silent
We gotta say,
Voice.
guys, very much.
Yeah, guys.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
Guys.
Guys,
guys.
we all watched A Silent Voice, right, guys? So
Yes.
And we all agree that it's like a really good movie, right, guys?
Mhm.
yeah,
And
but,
if
but what we're gonna be talking about is what makes it so good. You know, like why is it that good? What did it show that spoke to us? You know, we're gonna
Oh,
start from like the
I
beginning.
just-
We're just gonna break it down. You know.
I don't really.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't,
so there's
I'm not a
probably
very
gonna
good
be a
movie
bunch
reviewer.
of spoilers.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be full of spoilers. So if you haven't
So,
watched,
So don't watch this until you go watch the movie.
and if you
Or just
haven't
don't
watched
watch
the movie
this.
already, just like come on. And
What are you
honestly,
doing?
nobody
Oh.
watches this anyway. So.
It's not a very big movie, but we're talking about it.
Oh, yeah, and but I think everybody should watch it. It's important. So anyway,
It's. I'm gonna get this out of the way before I miss this opportunity to say it sucks when really good things, like really good, like talented people, or like really good movies like this fall under the radar of some people. Not just like movies, but any show. Like I could find a bunch of shows that are really good, just like this one, but like nobody knows about them for whatever reason. They just did not get enough advertising, I guess. I've talked to some people who have heard about it, but that's just about it. And I'm so disappointed.
yeah,
I think
because you
that
didn't
made-
even know it
I think that
existed,
made me-
right? You didn't
Yeah,
know
that
it
made me-
existed until I watched it. I'm like, dude, you gotta watch this.
Yeah, that made me more depressed than the actual movie, knowing that nobody knows the movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so what this movie is about is it has like 3 parts to it, I would say, you know? It has like
Yeah.
3 main focuses. One being like the first focus would be like I guess what we would call the main character. I'm bad with names, so I forget like all the names.
Shoya.
Show
Ishia,
The
yeah,
dude,
it's
the
Show-
guy.
yeah, they all have like Chan at the end of them.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Whatever. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, that's not the point. So yeah. So he's like a bully. Okay, and he would bully everybody who just wasn't like a good kid. Okay, and it talks about like how he exiling himself from everybody else, how it affected him later in life. The other part, like the other focus, is this girl who's deaf, and kind of like why the movie's called A Silent Voice, because like they can't communicate through words very well from her or to her, so it's really hard for her to do anything, and because of her disability she was exiled from everybody. And so the movie talks about like how she deals with that. Then the third like point is going to be like the outsider's view onto what's going on. And there's a lot of characters in this movie. There's a lot of characters, and each character has their own viewpoint on what's going on. And throughout the movie they voice it in different ways. Some voice it in a much more like accepting way, and like what most people watching the movie would like to hear. But then there's others who voice it in a way that makes you uncomfortable and makes
Yeah,
you
see, that's what made the movie great because every single character is completely different.
yeah, and none of them are just like
Uh-huh.
two-dimensional. Like even
Yeah,
the first time I saw the the poofy-haired kid, you know, the shorter poofy-haired kid that like befriends
Oh yeah.
the main character dude, you know. So when I first saw him, I was like, uh-oh, here's one of those annoying like second like sidekick characters, you know. But as the movie went on, that changed completely, man. Like, no, he wasn't just one of those annoying sidekick characters that you see in like every movie and show. He was literally like a very important aspect, and he said very important things. And it's like they
Yeah, like
use
he didn't
everything.
shave his beard or mustache whenever Shoya went to the coma.
Oh yeah, it's his lucky
It's because
mustache.
it's like, yeah,
Yeah, it's for him to wake up. But
I mean, it worked.
yeah, it worked. It worked. All right, so now that we know the three aspects, Nick, would you like to start with the beginning of the movie? And
okay, the beginning of the
what
movie.
happens and your thoughts on it?
So I wasn't to watch. Yeah, you guys were talking about it. And I'm like, it sounds like a. So I decided to watch it, and I had really, at the very beginning, I had some concerns about it. I'm like, it doesn't look like an amazing movie. It kind of looks like one of those average, like, oh, the bully does stuff. All the other stuff happens. But then this, fact that
You're breaking up.
You're
You're breaking
cutting
up.
out.
You're
Yeah.
cutting out like all the time. I'm sorry. Could you like fix that?
hold on. Yeah, hold on.
Hold on.
Let me.
Yeah, because for some reason you're just like breaking up like every other word.
No, that's not what I was. Okay. Is this better?
Yeah, that's so much better. All right, so you thought it wasn't
my
gonna be like
God.
a good movie. You thought it was gonna be boring, like some just school drama anime movie that I would recommend.
I despise those types of movies. I hate the slice of life movies. I don't despise them or hate them, but I just don't like them.
Dang.
And so I was looking at the
feels
beginning.
attacked.
I was looking at the beginning, and I'm like, I'm not sure I'm gonna like this, but that completely changed.
Yeah, you just gotta give it like not even a minute, and you're already like, oh shit. Yeah.
Like, if it weren't for you guys telling me, oh, it's such a great movie, I probably wouldn't have kept on watching it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it has to get better at some
It's
point.
2 hours long. I mean,
It
It's
is a
a long
longer
movie.
movie, but for me,
But I wanted it to
there
be
wasn't
longer.
there wasn't a single second of that movie where I was like, like, come on, or like, can you like
after
speed
the
up?
first
or-
15 minutes, I was completely invested into the
Yeah,
story.
it didn't even take me that long. I saw like so, it was like in like the very beginning what's going on. Like yeah, because the movie starts off with him as like like not an adult, but yeah, kind of.
kid.
Well, no, he's in high school. Yeah, so
No,
it starts
the movie
out.
starts off with him in 6th grade.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I thought
That
that
does.
happened. No, that's like a
No.
flashback. Isn't that a flashback? So it's like
I-
him working,
guess.
No.
and he's saving up his money for the suicide attempt.
Oh yeah, and
And
he's
then he
on the
flashes back
bridge.
to his old life. Like
Oh,
before he wants to jump or something, he stands on the bridge, and then it's like
And
flashback
he
on his
sees
life.
kids jumping off the bridge like when he did whenever he was little, you know.
Yeah, and and it was like at that point where I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be an excellent movie because that story writing is brilliant. That entire
Yeah,
that whole idea of the kids jumping off the small bridge and then him about to jump off the bigger one. It's like, oh Jesus,
yeah.
it's
It's
amazing.
just that part. Like it's like the first 5 minutes of movie, and
It's
he's
not
all
even the only
he's-
part.
he
It's like
walks
such
up.
a good part as well.
Yeah, he just walks up, he stands there, and he's going to kill himself. But because he just sees something like so, like every day you could see that, you know, every day you can see kids playing outside on the bridge, like the short bridge over the little creek or stream, whatever. And like you can see that every day, and how much it spoke to him, and it made him decide, wait, maybe I shouldn't kill myself yet. And he remembers all the bad things in his life, starting with like his 5th grade or 6th grade, and he goes. Well, then we'll talk about like what happened in the 6th grade life. You know, he was not a good person, right? He was a bully. He bullied
Yeah.
everyone. His quote friends, he wasn't even nice to, so they couldn't respect him. He didn't respect anybody. You guys want to take over? I don't want to. I don't want to control the conversation because
No, you're doing great.
yeah,
I mean,
it's just
You pretty much said all I would ever say.
yeah. I want you
Yeah.
to say stuff though,
Um,
because I could run it, but that's
I'll
not
talk
the
about.
point.
I,
Because
I kind of want to talk about his friends
yeah.
in 6th grade,
Yeah.
where like after he and his friends threw, I don't remember what's the deaf girl's name.
Shoko or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shoko.
something like that.
Yeah. Because they both
They
have the
threw
same
her
nickname.
into like the
Remember?
little pond with her notebook because apparently writing in a notebook is too difficult for these people.
Yeah, that pissed me off. Like I saw that because like I know like in my own experiences, you know, I have a disability that stops me from doing a lot of like activities, so I can't like be out and about a lot. So it's just seeing like people unable to like change for someone in any way. Yes, this is a much more like serious and like harder thing to do than like with me, but it's still like come on. Like, you want to talk to someone and they can't talk to you and you can't talk to them. Just write it down. And how hard is it to write it down? I mean, it takes like, what, 2 seconds to write that stuff down. And these kids.
Yeah, but it's just like
Oh.
it. See, this is the kind of the reason why I started off like with a little bit conspicuous about how great this movie's actually going to be, because I thought like, yeah, this is just like, yeah, as soon as she came up, I knew that there was going to be a bully, but I did not think that would be the main character. That's what shocked me.
Oh, yeah. Seeing how he was actually the main character. He,
Yeah.
like the bully.
Which is kind of a switch up, but not.
Yeah, because
not
you
a
don't
bad
really
one.
see that in many things. You don't see the bad guy's perspective on everything and how his bad actions, how they affect himself, which I thought was really cool. You know?
There are so many smart aspects of this movie.
Yeah,
how long is this gonna take?
Oh,
We might as well just.
it's gonna take all day, man. Here we go.
Yeah, we got to go in like this,
Yeah.
this 5-hour streak of just talking about this 2-hour movie.
Hey, don't worry, man. Don't worry. Well, like, so back to like him, like being a bully and her being like at a, like having the disability. It goes through like kind of a montage of different scenes and different days, you know, and they like so I think like don't the credits roll during this too? Like the credits are going and like so it shows like multiple scenes and occasions of her like hearing aids being tossed out the window or tossed in the trash or getting crushed or just pulled out and stuff.
Yeah.
And also
then one time, and then at the end, he pulls it out, and then her ears start to bleed.
yeah, like that time he just yanks it out and it's connected. So it like hurt her and really messed up a lot of stuff. And that's the first time he actually like his actions affect him because after that like his mom has to pay for it and it's very expensive because then she has to pay for all of the other ones he's destroyed, you know, and it severs a relationship that he could have had with like anyone because of how bad it actually was. And that's what put him onto that like downward spiral of just like, man, I really messed up, you know, which is really cool because I had a very, very bad like middle school, well, like grade school-ish years, you know. I used to go to school with like a lot of bad kids and I was like a prime like target for the bullying stuff and seeing how being the person like abusing and beating on people like how that's actually affecting you later in life. And that was actually really, really hard for me to watch because I know people that have done similar things, you know. I know people who have broke stuff, stolen stuff, beaten people, all that type of stuff. Me being the target in a lot of them. And seeing how like it could result into them thinking of suicide like we see in the first 5 minutes of the movie. It's like, wow, that's kind of hard, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, the movie progresses after that with him coming back to the realization of him on the bridge, right? Because
And
that's
he had some unfinished business to do. He had to
Yeah, so he's like-
yeah.
apologize.
He's like,
He
I
went
gotta
back-
apologize. So he goes to the hearing institution that she kind of like. She doesn't live there. She just
She like
it's like a school, but not a school. It's like a
in the beginning, it's
it's a
like the
little
only
confusing.
place you actually see her.
yeah, like that's all. That's the only place he sees her because that's the only place he knows of, which I think is a really cool thing. Just showing like the characters like where he like sees them, you know, because we don't see her at her house until later, until she's like closer to him. So it's like, yeah, now we know like her side. But yeah, seeing him go back to her, doesn't he bring like the bread because she likes feeding the koi?
Yeah,
Or is that later?
he brings like the biggest baguette.
Yeah, that baguette looked good as hell though. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
that looks like a really good baguette.
Oh,
But then he got
baguette.
turned down by quote unquote boyfriend, who we later find out is her sister, which is interesting.
Well, I don't get how that was confusing for you.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Same.
When
'Cause,
he's
like,
when
you-
he's like, "Are you her boyfriend or something?" I'm like, I don't think that's a dude. Okay.
Yeah,
and also,
I'm pretty sure that's
they look
not
really
a
young
dude.
too. So.
It must have been like a really smart dude for looking that young.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, no, man, that ain't a dude.
Yeah.
Just saying, and that's a little young to be her boyfriend or something. Like, okay, okay.
Yeah, but no, like her being her
Yeah.
sister was kind of shocking.
Yeah,
Like,
that
that's
was.
They don't
very
really
cool,
look
though. They don't
alike.
look very alike, but what shocked me about it is like when we hear that, yeah, that's like her sister, so they related. They live in the same house and stuff. You then get that's like one of the first outsider perspectives you see of what the two shows are like talking about, you know, like dealing with, because that's like the first outsider view you see, and it's really cool to start seeing that, having like a sibling like comment on how like a bully and that was a bully to her sister, and like what they're doing and what they're trying to do to make up and stuff. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's also this one point that I wanted to point out. That in the story, when the main character, hold on, Doodlebug posted all the characters, so I gotta go look at that really quick.
We're just gonna get all the characters
So
up.
yeah, when Shoya found Shoko's sister in like the McDonald's Playhouse thing,
Oh, that was hard to watch.
I was
man.
confused. I was like, wait, is that did you live there or something? And then they're like, oh, I'm her sister, because isn't that? I'm pretty sure that's where.
Yeah, that's where.
Oh
like,
no,
yeah.
that's whenever it started raining, and then they were
Yeah, but it was
walking back.
They were
It was
walking
just
back in
sad.
the rain.
it was sad.
And then the thing, but like a thing that I've wanted to point out, which was a really good point, is that Shoko's sister was saying how, are you just like she said, are you just doing this to make yourself feel good?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that was like that. See, that was interesting. That was a really good part of the story, and I think that was important because it made him the main character stop and think for like a minute.
Yeah, and it even makes you like the watcher think it's like, wait a minute, is
Yeah,
he
is this,
actually
like-
just doing it? to
Is he
make
just
himself
putting up
feel-
a facade just to feel better about his thing? Just to feel better about the thing that he did.
Yeah, yeah, and I really like that because a movie that can make like the watcher think like, interesting, you know, like
Because we don't
while
know
watching.
enough about the character to
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
everything.
So you get to question it.
Which in
ooh.
other movies would be a big problem, but in this one it just works really well.
Yeah, it works just so fluidly. Like I don't think there was a point in the movie where you had to be like, hold up, what's going on, or hold up, why? And if there was, it was explained like immediately after, you know? There wasn't like any point for me where I'm like, this doesn't make sense, or why does this, like, why did they say that or something?
Yeah, because it's an amazing slice of life.
I don't think it's slice
like
of
I
life.
said before,
Okay.
I mean, they take like one of the people who made it probably did experience something similar to this, which is why it's so incredibly good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a story, like if you've ever read like a book like about someone's life, you know, and how detailed it can be without being like too drawn out or something, how direct it is and how powerful it feels. It feels like they must have experienced it just because of how well made it was. And it's just wow. And like on Google, it says a silent voice. It is an animation romance, and I wanna kind of
Oh.
like,
I'm pretty sure it's not a romance.
yeah, I don't
It
want
kinda-
to.
I get where they're coming from, but that's not at all what it is.
Yeah, they must have
Yeah.
missed something when they're writing that, because yeah,
They must have
there's
missed like the
romance
entire end. They're like, oh,
yeah, did they only watch like the first half of the movie? Okay, what the heck?
they're like, they're like, oh yeah, Shoko decided to say I love you to this guy. It's a romance.
Yeah, it's a romance. She said I love you guys. The word love, yep, no. He thought it was moon, so it's a misunderstanding.
They
No.
just read the script, found I love you, and they're like, yeah, this is romance.
This is romance. But yeah, I would say it's more just flat out drama and stuff, you know? But
Mhm.
whatever. So yeah, back to where we were. We were after the sister is in the playhouse basically. That's when the story kind of picks up, you know, because now the story starts speeding up, because at that same time he's going to school, you know, and you get to see his like view on everybody else, because he exiled himself. Everybody he sees, he can't look in the eye, you know. You see, so you see
has
the
a niece, right?
yeah, his sister has the little girl, the super
Yeah,
cute
that's
little girl.
how they found Yuzuru in
Mhm.
the play.
Yeah, because they were
Place.
watching. He was watching her just play around, you know, and she's like,
And she
"There's
was like,
somebody in
"Someone's
there."
in-"
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
You know, in any other movie that'd be terrifying. Like, what? There's somebody in there.
Yeah.
Let's go away now.
there's somebody in the playhouse.
Well,
No,
yeah, let's not be here anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, so everyone around him has like that X over their face, you know, and that's
Yeah.
because
that,
like
that was a really interesting part of the story
Yeah,
as well. And then when he met the puffy hair guy,
I love that part.
and then the X fell off. Like that's
Uh-huh.
that.
Oh,
that
I
was
got
satisfying.
chills that, because you don't think of it too much, but like how, like when you exile yourself from everybody, like in the movie, this shows with the X on front of their face, people that he thinks can't accept him because of like his own thoughts, and people he doesn't want to associate themselves with because of what he's done and stuff like that, and just having that insecurity, you know, and seeing the X's on everybody's. And when puffy hair puffy hair, that's what we're gonna call him now.
Yeah,
when
name's now Puffy Hair.
Comes into him, it was in the bathroom, right? Because he like he went in the bathroom.
No, it was whenever
Oh.
they stole his bike.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh,
Someone was
shoot,
trying to take
yeah,
his
yeah,
bike,
yeah.
and then he came back with his bike, and then like, oh yeah, now you're friends.
Yeah, because he protected him because he saw it happening. He's like, that ain't right. Okay, I'm gonna do something. It's like, you can use my
It's like-
bike, you know, but because it got stolen, and puffy hair.
And then he would go find it in the dump.
Yeah.
I think it
No,
was.
it was like in the fields.
Yeah, it was in the middle of a field, and he brought it
Yeah.
back to him like the next day or something.
And then he said, I've been looking for this for like an hour. And I'm like, okay, this dude really needs a friend.
yeah, he's like, I guess I'll be your friend. But I really like it because they grow really, really close throughout the movie, you know? They really become bros, you know? They become bros. And they go out and do stuff. They go to restaurants and stuff. They eat.
And the
they-
puppy hair kid helped Shoya go talk to Shoko, you know, at the
Mhm.
one place because, you know, Yuzuru was in the way.
Oh yeah, and then he like
Mhm.
picked up Yuzuru by like like that whole like I'm gonna beat you up style. Like
yeah.
let him go in.
Let him go.
Yeah.
This is not right. Come on. He just wants to talk. What can he do? You know. So yeah, and that's when they go out to the small bridge over the creek with the koi, and they talk and
Didn't
start
Yuzuru like take
talking.
a picture of Shoya falling?
Yeah,
Like,
because
Because
they
he
had
still
dropped
didn't trust it.
the notebook,
Yeah.
and then
yeah, and then he got suspended or
Shoko
something.
jumped in for the notebook, and then Shoya's like, no,
I'm
and then
coming
he jumped
to.
in.
Yeah.
And then
And
Yuzuru took a picture of that and made him
post
like
it everywhere.
be in detention for jumping off the
Or
bridge.
like,
Yeah, because
yeah, he
well,
had
it
to
was
stay home.
it's illegal to go into that creek. Like you're not supposed to go in it, so it's not good.
No,
But
it's
yeah.
not good.
I forgot to talk about like one of the most powerful parts of the movie. We kind of skipped it. It was after he comes back home after wanting to commit suicide. You know.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
his
comes
back
mom's
home.
like, I'm gonna
His
burn
mom-
this money.
Yeah, his mom. She's like, I found your note and your money. You were going to kill yourself with that. I saw it in the calendar, but I didn't want to believe it. And now with this note and money, I know you were gonna do it. It's like I'm gonna burn this and all the work you've done. Because before this, he was working so hard and he sold everything he had to like come up with the money to like make up for all the pain he's like caused his mom and all the expenses that she had to pay to cover for him. And seeing his mom just break down at like the thought of her son like killing himself for all he's done, you know, it's like, wow, it's really hard to watch because it's like real life. This can happen, you know, like a lot
Yeah.
of this movie. That's the thing that you think about. It's like this could happen, and it's not too far from the truth because it does happen. You know, all these things in the movie, you don't want to think it can happen because it's animated. It's like anime, you know, you like kind of away from reality, but you just think like it doesn't take too much to just think, and it's like, wait, this is like real stuff. Real life stuff happens. And
No,
that's one
I
of
don't
the
want to
moments.
divert attention to the amazing film that we're talking about, but that's exactly what happened in Doki Doki Literature Club. Where I don't want to try and like, but the entire time I'm watching this movie, and even after, like even today when I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, that's really similar to this game I know called Doki Doki Literature Club.
Okay.
Except for instead of the depressed girl getting saved, the depressed girl just dies, and that was,
I mean,
messed me
unless you
up.
get the good ending.
the good ending. She still dies. I don't think there's any way to save her.
Really?
Yeah, you
Oh
can't
my
save.
God.
You just cannot. And that
Oh.
messed me up real hard for like about 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
we're
I just
yeah, for
drew some simulation,
just like the simulation.
just like the simulations, some similarities between the two, with that.
hmm Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we still haven't beaten that. We gotta finish it. Today we're actually.
You
playing
don't
some
beat
more
the
of it.
game, you just
No,
experience
you
it and not
experience
get
it.
depressed. The way you beat it is you don't get depression.
That's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Oh, it was funny. Well, not funny. It was kind of like sad, but also wholesome. I sent it to the Discord. The Lost Pause has been doing like a playthrough of it, and it
Oh,
was the
yeah,
final
I
episode. Yeah, you
watched
watched it, and it was the final episode. It's his final episode he's doing, and they got to the first ending when Sayori just hangs herself, and it made Project Melody like depressed, and she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. She failed the game. It was kind of sad to
Because-
hear. She was like really beat up by it.
It was like her first time playing too.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh my god." And
And
everyone's
everyone
trying
was
to like
talking
make her
about-
feel better about it. But then they eventually just stop playing. They're like, "You know what? Let's stop this." And I think their way of like fixing it was watching like cat videos and stuff, which
Yeah.
is really sweet, but it's like they were really
Aw.
tring to make her feel better.
I wish
It's like,
I
"Aw,
wish
that's
I had
so
people to
sweet."
soothe me after watching Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
It would have helped a lot.
And
But I mean,
like,
it
ooh.
wasn't the time that I got depressed was the second time that I'm watching it. I don't know why, but I guess
I want to rewatch this.
because I rewatched someone else play it. The first one I watched PewDiePie play. His was fun. He made stupid ass voices for everyone, so it made it entertaining and funny. Then I watched Mark's version. And then I got depressed. But on to the movie that we're talking about.
Back to the
There's no
movie.
escape.
Back to the movie. Who cares
shouldn't go
about
on
Doki
we shouldn't go on too many rants now.
Doki? Wow. So yeah, back to the movie. We were talking about how Puffy Hair was his first friend he was able to make, and that kind of that starts his journey of like redemption, and also just becoming a normal human being, you know.
Yeah.
This is like, for some reason, I got like Subaru vibes from like ReZero. Got Subaru vibes from him because like similar to Shoya, neither Subaru nor Shoya are actually like good people. You know, they're not good people. Shoya is a bully. He never was nice to really anybody. He caused a lot of trouble for a lot of people. He never felt sorry about it until like he wanted to kill himself. And Subaru was never really the best person around. Like the whole first season is literally him turning from like being useless and being like not like helpful to anyone to just becoming a normal person, like not amazing but not good. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Just being a normal human being. And like similar to that, Shoya's arc like through this movie, it goes from him being that awful person and wanting to kill himself to being like a normal person, a friend to people. So that's a really cool like connection I drew, and it's a little more on topic than a Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah.
just saying that out loud, but yeah.
Gotta get that graham cracker.
Oh, graham cracker. The history of a graham cracker is very interesting. You should read
Really?
about it. Just look up graham cracker on
should.
Wikipedia. Have you read that, Nick?
You know, that's really interesting, but that's also not what we're talking about.
I know, but she said graham cracker. I'm sorry. How about you take over right now, okay? We're at
Crackers.
he got his bike back from Puffy Hair.
Yeah, and then they were like really good friends and stuff. We're not really doing this in order because all of that happened
All over the place.
Whatever.
Yeah, we're not going exactly in
bike.
order, but we want to touch on everything. So
Yeah, so he got his bike, and then all of a sudden, this dude is like major friends with him. I mean, it was really his only friend, and they hung out like all the time.
they even made a handshake.
You could clearly see that they were both having a good time.
Well, in the beginning, Shoya didn't really like it though, right? He kind of felt like why he's like, I don't deserve this, and like, why is he trying to be my friend? Like, what have I done to really like deserve like this kind of treatment? And I found that very, very moving. Like, wow, he's really far gone, you know. And this guy just trying to have a friend is choosing Shoya to be like his first like good friend. It's very hard, but yeah.
Interesting history over here.
Throughout the movie you get introduced more characters like from his past. Like a lot of the characters you see in the flashback, the little kids, none of them were truly nice to Shoko. They never like stood up to her for her.
And there was that one girl, her name is Miki,
Kawaii.
and she's like, oh, I didn't bully her.
Oh, I didn't like her at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, like no joke, I would like Uno, the really mean girl. Like I hated her less than I hated Kawaii, because she was like upfront about it, and she was all like, I hate you, you don't like me, and I don't like you, and like was up in her face about it, but like that's what she felt. While Kawaii's just being
like you know how Uno or whatever her name is, she she said jerk or something in sign language, and then Shoku repeated that to her.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was like
No.
it was moron.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then she said baka.
Yeah, baka. Oh man. I learned how to say baka in Japanese sign language from this movie. Wow. That's
Whoa.
interesting.
That's just like, well, at least you took something else away from it, not just like the movie itself.
I learned something, education, more than I've learned in school. Wow.
Yeah, because I have no reason to learn sign language. I don't know anyone deaf.
Yeah. And
It's
that's
still
kind
a
of
good
another
thing to
thing.
learn.
Yeah, that's kind of another part of it too, though. Like having that mindset too was another part of what the kids felt, you know. Like this is the only deaf person probably any of them knew, so it's like, yeah. Well, why do we need to know this kind of thing? Which is just sad to think about, but
And then you know how Shuko never had like a real friend, and then Miyako came or whatever her name was, and then she moved
Yeah.
away because she was getting made fun of.
yeah, she had to leave because she got bullied just as much, just because she like became
Hanged
friends with
out, yeah.
Shoko, and they never talked since. So it's like losing a friend. And it's like, man, that
Like, yeah,
sucks.
that would suck. That would really suck. They're taking everything away.
Yeah, it's just wow. Because she took the time out to like learn the sign language. She took the time out to like let Shoko know that she's not an enemy. She's actually like trying to be friends and not just faking it. But then she left. So it's
Mhm.
like, wow.
But then they meet up later on at the train station or something.
Yeah, like
Yeah, cuz
later.
isn't that where Shoya like meets up with Uno too?
Yeah.
No, Shoyo meets
No.
Uno at like the cat place.
Oh yeah. Where they had that coupon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
cuz
that was the
she's
first
handing
time
out
that he
flyers
saw her
there.
in a while.
Huh?
That was the first time that he saw her in a while when she was giving out coupons.
Yeah, but they didn't talk
Yeah.
until later when didn't she like jump on his bike?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did. And he's like, go away.
Yeah, cuz Shoko's on the other side watching it and he's like you haven't changed at all, you know? Like some of these characters have changed, but most of them have not. And he's like, you haven't changed at all. I
Yeah,
don't want
and
to I don't want to be
then
with
she
you.
still goes and then takes out Shoko's hearing aids.
Yeah,
And
it's
she's
like,
and
let's
then
do what we used to
Shoyo's
do.
like, no,
Yeah.
don't do it. And then he's like, wait, then what? I'm just gonna do it like the old times. Like, what's gonna end you? You're stupid now.
Yeah.
How dare you be a nice cooperative citizen? You're stupid.
How dare you be a normal human being? Don't be decent. You gotta be awful. Can't change. Man. Yeah, so at that point, I really, really did not like Uno. I was like, I don't like this character. And I like how the movie makes you
What?
like...
It was a fun card game.
Uno's a
And
great card game.
Doesn't she like hit Shoko
Mhm.
whenever Shoya goes into the coma?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Smacks him. And then
Yeah.
she gets into a fight with
Shoko's mom.
Yeah.
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 And then
It got like...
Shoya's mom had to break them up.
And just watching Shoko take that and not like retaliate in any way or just like react in any way, just take the hits. It was like, ooh, you know, it just makes you say,
I was kind of
ooh.
disappointed that Shoko's mom didn't like legitimately beat the crap out of Uno.
I know. I was like, yes, come on, this is what you deserve. And then Shoya's mom is like, hold up, nuh-uh, we gotta be okay, normal, decent human beings. Okay, come on. It's like, oh man, I needed her to get what she deserved. But yeah, just throughout the movie, Uno's always like beating on Shoko, and like when they do the Ferris wheel ride, that's when well, we don't see it until later on in the movie because the movie was still on.
Records it all.
Yeah, the recording, yeah. And it was like, oh my god. Oh my god. And just hearing like, because Shoko's like trying to say I'm sorry, you know? And like for whatever she did, even though she hasn't done anything wrong, she's trying to apologize to just make Uno realize like I'm not your enemy. I'm just here. You've been the only one acting. It's like, oh my god, still getting hated on and beat. And, oh
I
man.
know, and then Una was like, "Hey, you know what? Why do you keep saying sorry?"
Yeah,
And
that's
then
not
she
gonna
gets
fix
mad.
anything. Yeah. Man, the whole movie just always hits on those hard things to watch, and
Uh-huh.
especially towards the end. This is before he gets into the coma, and like what causes him to get into the coma. You know, you guys remember that part? Like right before.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Shoko is the one that's trying to kill herself that time, and
But see, a part that I noticed that is, remember when they dropped Shoko's notebook and she jumped in the river.
yeah.
Shoya couldn't save her. He reached out to try and stop her from falling, right, and catch her, but then
Hmm.
it didn't happen. And then when she actually jumped off like a really tall thing, he's like, "No, I'm going to actually do it now." And
Yeah.
he caught her arm and then brought her back up.
Yeah, it really shows his like
But
character
what
development.
another great thing about this movie is that it made it so that not everything works out perfectly, and that so then he fell.
Yeah, it was pretty
And
cool to see
I'm
that
kind of
too.
surprised that Soko was not like more sad about that. But I
Well,
guess it's
so
not why he was depressed.
what? Well, actually, so first off, I want to say that yeah, the connection to the beginning of the movie, you know, and then to the end of the movie, his like his reaction to her jumping off of something, and he's like, I'm gonna like save you, and after he gets her up, he falls, and he doesn't die. Why he doesn't die? Because he goes into the water. He falls into the water, but he gets really messed up
I
and.
thought he hit the concrete, and but the illusion in his mind was the water.
Oh shoot! Wait, I don't know, cause all I remember, like when I watched it, he
I
fell
think it
in,
actually saw seaweed and stuff.
cause he fell, and I thought it was he fell in the water,
Well,
but then
because
he
that was
starts
the
to
illusion,
bleed.
and then you hear the sirens, and they're like, "How were the
No, no,
sirens
no, no,
by
no,
the
because
water?"
he definitely fell in the water. Because when he woke up, people were saying that, oh, these people pulled you out.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, cause when he fell in, I remember like there's that scene where he's like sinking in the water, and then he's like, I felt something crack, and then it starts to bleed really bad, like seep into the water.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't think blood flies.
Cause yeah, okay. I was just wondering, like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is like an illusion, but yeah. But yeah, so also on your point, Nick, with how she wasn't like depressed about it or anything, she did feel really bad because every day, like, without like no matter if it was raining or really hot or anything, she was going to the hospital every single day and waiting because Uno wouldn't let her in the hospital.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, because first she tried to go in, but Uno called her out, and I don't know if this wasn't before the. I mean, this wasn't after the fight with her mom. This was just. Yeah, man, I gotta rewatch it. But yeah, she sits out there and like it's like a montage of her standing out there. If it's sunny, standing out there with an umbrella. If it's like raining,
Raining.
standing out there like no matter what and just waiting,
Yeah.
and Uno just leaves every time. So she was affected by it pretty hard if she would like just stand there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. um yeah, but that's getting
Oh,
towards the end of the movie because after he like wakes up from his coma, he like he starts to uh connect everybody
process.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, so people did care about me enough to come visit me while I was asleep, and when he wakes up, people are coming to visit him, and he's like, I guess these are my friends. You know, this is when he really has a realization of like, I guess I do have friends and people I can actually talk to. And later on, we see that when he's at the school festival, like all the exes are going away from everybody. He's not scared to look people in the eye. He's not insecure in that way, and he's like owning up to what he's done, and the people who he's affected are with him, and they've come to terms with everything that they've done too. And he makes like a really cool quote at the very end, like, this is what it means to be a real friend, or something like that. And that was a really cool, powerful like quote right before the movie ends. I was like, whoa, you know.
See,
Yeah, that's whenever I started crying.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cry through the entire movie. You guys are babies.
What? Well, I cried like a baby like 4 times, okay? I'm no joking.
Yeah.
I cried like when the mom was holding up the money in the beginning. I cried like when Shoya really beat Shoko like in the school, because similar things have happened to me. I cried really hard when oh shoot. Well, at the end, yeah, when the movie stopped, I just like the TV was off, and I'm just sitting there like like crying like a baby, man. What the hell? But yeah, I am such a wimp. Okay, I am such a wimp.
I just cried. I think I've only cried over like one thing that wasn't like that didn't actually happen to me, like, and it was a book, and it was a really good book, but I haven't read a book in a while, so I don't know. And that's like the only thing that I actually cried about that was like in a novel or like,
like
a
some
story.
form of entertainment or something. Man, I
Yeah.
cry like a baby to movies and like TV shows, especially anime. Like Anohana, you should watch Anohana. Okay, this is another anime which is really cool. It starts off with everybody being kids, and Menma, one of the characters, dies in the very beginning, and it messes everybody up and it tears everybody away. But
as it
what?
would.
As it would, yeah. And then the main character, Genta, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Genta. He sees Menma's ghost, and that makes him want to like get everybody together. And at the end, oh my god, the last episode, I still can't watch the
Her whole
scene.
purpose was just to make him cry.
Yeah, just
And
to
then she
make them
said that she
connect again.
wanted to be reincarnated so she could be with them again.
Yeah, she just wanted them to be together, and oh my god, I still can't watch the clip without crying. It's like, oh my
same.
god, it's just so good, because they're like, we found you, Menma, and I'm like, nope, I can't do it, I'm gonna cry, and then the ending starts, I'm like,
They couldn't believe that like her ghost was actually there,
Mhm.
because like they knew Jinta could see her, but they were like kind of.
Yeah, see, that's another movie that really
It's
that's
not a
another
movie.
thing that really makes you like feel for the characters. Like this movie we watched, Anohana is another one that really knows how to make you
Movie.
emotional. I don't care. It's entertainment. Movies, they're the same.
It's really confusing at the beginning, but
The beginning is confusing, but just seeing